Well, hello, and a very warm welcome to Thursday, 29th of January 1926. Can you believe it already? A whole month gone in the new year. It has been an incredible start to the year, hasn't it? Fantastic. Earlier this week on Monday, we celebrated 100 years. 100 years, can you believe it? Since the very first start of the test transmission of television. Where would we be without television, hey? Well, anyway, I had the real honor of being invited down to 22 Frith Street where that first demonstration of television took place, and joined by Ian Logie Baird, who is the grandson of the great John Logie Baird, who invented television that time. And the great and the good and the unwashed from the showbiz and TV industry were all there as well. Caught up with a lot of my old mates. Thank you very much to the wonderful owners of Bar Italia, who also own Place Next Door. If you haven't been, it is an icon in London. It's been there in the family for 75 years plus, and lovely to be looked after by them with Michael and Luigi and Antonio and John as well. Had a good sort of sit down for a meal with them, and then they had a big opening, a big ceremony where they opened up the new bedroom to commemorate the 100 years since that very first transmission. Do check it out. I managed to catch up with a number of people there, interviewed Ian Logie Baird and also Mike Reeves, my old chum. He joined us on the Andrew Eborn Show the day after, and we reflected on those 100 years. Between us, we've probably done most of it, I guess. But all good stuff. And the way it's changed life, the way broadcasting's changed over all these years, and also the thought of what the next stage might be. I had the pleasure of working for the Royal Television Society, doing their podcast for a number of years, and we interviewed people very recently for about the BBC, what's going to be next for the BBC, some trials and tribulations there. Tim Davie, I've spoken to him, and we also had Greg Dyke, interviewed him for the Royal Television Society, just talking about the future, not just about the financing, but what actually it means, because everything's related. The first thing is, do we need the BBC at all? That's the big question, because never has there been a time when we need an independent broadcaster more than anything. And people say, well, is it independent? And Tim Davie always makes the point that every government criticizes them. And if every government criticizes them means they're getting it about right, because they have to be balanced and you have to work on the sort of premise that people will complain. But have a look at that sort of side. But they have obviously, I always say that trust comes in on foot and leaves on horseback. And at no time has there been so many challenges to that trust. All sorts of issues have come about. And the question about how they handle it. People always tritely say, well, lessons have been learned. Well, have they? I don't know. It's one of those sort of phrases that, is rather like the unprecedented use of the word precedent. Unprecedented. Yeah, exactly. So do have a look at that sort of side. Also, what's interesting, Royal Television Society, they're looking for a new CEO. It has been announced. The wonderful Teresa will be stepping down after 13 fantastic years. So very interesting to see what happens. Obviously, Tim Davies available. Carol Kirkwood, I even suggested she's no longer going to be doing the weather. So after I think it's what 25 years, spring chicken. She obviously started incredibly young, but she's going to be leaving in the next few weeks. So a few others. It could be very interesting. Anyway, it's lovely. I thought I'd take you for a little walk through the park. It is a beautiful day down here. Try and get out and about as much as possible. It's a great way. People are sort of worrying about the cost of living and things like that, and it's having a real toil on people's mental health And I'd like to get people on the show to talk about that because it affects all sorts of people from all sorts of lives. And I always say I want us to be the generation that talks about mental health so that the next generation doesn't suffer the stigma. But one of the top tips that people say for dealing with those challenges, and everybody has them, is actually just get out if you can. Just go out for a walk, see things, talk to people. There are people who are willing to talk. Everybody's in the same sort of boat. Well, actually, not the same boat. I always say we're in different boats, but maybe on the same ocean is probably a better way of putting it. So do reach out and talk if you're affected by anything and dealing with those challenges. There are people there, and it's so important that we do have those conversations. Anyway, just a quick chat. It's lovely to see all of you. Thank you so much for joining, as always. We've now got some zillions of people subscribing to the Andrew Eborn Show, which is fantastic. If you would like to join and join in the discussions. And even if you wouldn't, it'd be lovely to have you as a subscriber. It's completely free, everybody's favorite four-letter word. Just click on the subscribe button, and we've got lots of great guests. I tend to focus a lot on creativity, a lot on positivity in this troubled world that we live in, and lots of giving a platform for voices that are not normally heard and causes that are not normally spoken about. So continue to do that. If you've got suggestions for guests or anything like that, do let me know. And also, if you want to become a member for exclusive access to priority content before anything else, I would absolutely value your support. But for me, Andrew Eborn, on more platforms than Paddington, it's been a joy. Whatever you're doing today, have a good one. And I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Take care.